All right, guys, thanks for joining me again on this walk while I'm out here today. I've been in videos this way. I hope you enjoy watching them. And I certainly hope you get some kind of takeaway from all of this. And to be honest with you, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this story today, but we're going to find out together because I have a feeling that I'm going to suss something out from this whole thing. It's a little story I got to tell you. So today, on my last account, I had to go to a person's house to see if they needed any insulation in their attic, to bring it up to snuff, to bring it to where it should be, to be able to cool down the house adequately. And having good insulation, guys, by the way, is absolutely paramount to keeping your house nice and cool and regulating temperature and whatnot. But getting beyond all that, so I get there. And it's this lady, she's probably in her 60s, and there's a gentleman in the garage with her. They're staying in the garage, and he's in his 60s likewise. I kind of assumed they were married. And she's very sweet, very kind, very nice. And some people, right off the bat that you like them, right? And I thought she was really cool, and he was really nice too. He's a little more quiet than she was. So I went up in her attic. At two different ends of the house and discovered that she did not need insulation. She had enough. So I reported that to her. And and so I brought I brought to her attention that she wouldn't need anything else. And good for her, because now she doesn't have to worry about spending the money that she thought she's going to have to dole out for that. Okay. So in the course of talking to them, I make small talk with the customers. And I thought the guy was her husband, something got said. And I said, I don't know what it was, what triggered it, but I asked her, I said, oh, wait a minute. He's not your husband? Oh, no, he's not my husband. And he's like, no. Okay, no big deal, sorry. And so we were talking about the heat in Florida. She says, oh, in Arizona, it's really hot too, but it's a whole lot easier to deal with because it's so dry. And the guy was like, yeah, I'm from Texas, and the heat there is different too. Well, I know it is. I used to live in Texas, so yeah, it's to me it's easier to deal with. It's just drier. But he's from San Antonio, so they do still get some humidity. But he was saying she's from Arizona. So we talked about that for a little bit, and so then it come to find out that. Well, they are dating. They are dating now. They're seeing each other on the regular. Okay, that's sweet. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Older people linking up. I mean, they don't want to be alone. I'm glad they found each other. They seem like very, very nice people. And so he said that he goes. We got separated from her. He wanted to show me something, and then he brought it up to me. He goes, we've known each other since 1973. 1973. They've known each other since then. That's remarkable. Unless it's a family member, it's pretty remarkable that you've known somebody that long. Yeah, we've known each other for that long. Oh, that's interesting. And then he goes, well, we used to be married. Oh, okay. You used to be married, but I don't know. You can do what you want, but it looks like you got something going on here. Like, great. I'm glad you guys are back together. She said, yeah, there was a 45-year gap. 45-year gap. What is going on? Like, I had to ask. I mean, I didn't ask like that, right? But I was like, well, what the heck happened? She goes, well, I mean, we were only like 18 when we got married. They were teenagers back in 1973, right? They were teenagers. So maybe they're older than the 60s. I don't know. They're probably late 60s, early 70s. I don't know. So he's like, they were like, yeah, we met in 1973. We got married when we were 18 years old. We were young and stupid. We didn't know any better. We just ended up getting divorced. We weren't mean to each other or anything like that. It's just that, It just wasn't working because we were so young. And then we went our separate ways for 45 years. He joined the Air Force, was over in Germany for years and years and years. And she was over here in America doing her thing. I don't know what she was doing. I know she's in real estate. I don't know what she was doing the whole entire time. And she said, yeah, I said, are you serious? There's a 45-year gap in which you guys did not see each other. She says, yeah. Well, his wife died last year. Okay. He's like, yeah, she died. But it was probably good because she was suffering a lot. And, but you know, I was lonely. And so I thought, what am I going to do? So I looked her up and we talked on the phone for quite a while. She's like, yeah, we talked on the phone a lot. I said, well, it's probably good. Talking on the phone is better than linking up in person because there's these expectations that go along with that, right? Yeah. So it was really good. And she says, here we are now. We're going to be taking trips together. They didn't say they're going to get married. They said, we're going to be taking trips together. We're going to be doing lots of things together. He's trying to get a house down here. This is really interesting to me to see this at this time of their life. And I thought it was sweet. Because what are the chances? Now, let me ask you guys something. Would you ever remarry an ex? Most of us wouldn't. Most of us shouldn't. There's a reason why there are exes. You know, it depends on when that happened, why it happened, how old we were, how much each person has changed. Just to make sure nobody's coming. So, because I think I'm talking loud. So, but these two people were very sweet. I know, they're probably serial killers, right? But no, they're very, very sweet. And I just got a kick out of it. And I said, isn't that something? Both of you guys end up marrying and you live in different lives, 45 years apart. You come back together in the winter years of your life, and they seem like they're in love. And I just think that's amazing, right? And I hope it works out for them. I really do. I really hope it works out for them. You know, because it's good to be needed. It's good to be wanted and desired. And yeah, I just think it's really sweet. But what are the chances of you ever marrying an ex? Here's the thing. Most of us should probably never do it. You know, it would be very unhealthy. They probably don't have anything to offer that would make our lives better. I have discovered when it comes to any kind of an ex, whether it's an ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, whatever, that if you knew the full story of what went on before they left or before you parted, if you knew what went on afterwards, if you knew what went on, I hear something, the scope of their life, if you knew, you might be over any kind of delusions that you might have been under, you know, because I think people sometimes will speculate. They'll ruminate on what could have been, right? They'll ruminate on what could have been if only that didn't happen, right? If the separation, if the divorce, if the breakup, whatever the case might be, if it just didn't happen. Well, here's the thing. Every once in a blue moon, people do get back together, and it works. Chances of it happening to you, to me, to a lot of other people are very, very slim. But here's the takeaway. Here's what I want to emphasize. I'm not saying go out there and find out whether that's true or not for you. I'm not saying you should pursue an ex. I don't think you should at all, honestly. But sometimes life presents itself, okay? And what I couldn't get out of my head there was, if this is working for you now, could it have worked if you just didn't get a divorce early on? Maybe, maybe not. There's no way of knowing. But what I want to say to people, to any of you married people out there, is I know that things are hard. And unless some really egregious violation has occurred, be careful about leaving. Because sometimes, I'm only talking about if it comes down to a matter of feelings, you know, because a lot of people will leave just because, we just weren't getting along. We just weren't seeing eye to eye. We just grew apart. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about relationships where they divide over just feelings. You might want to think about that twice before you do it. Okay? you might want to think about it twice. Because you could have stockpiled a lot of years wherein during that time you could have become best friends with each other. And don't let anybody sell you on the idea that as a married couple, you're not friends, you're lovers for life. No. The best part of any relationship is the friendship part of it. You can be in love and be lovers and friends. Okay? I'm talking about as a married couple. And that's what you need. But yeah, a lot of people give in to their feelings. They divide, they go separate ways, and then she even told me, I brought this up to her. I just wonder if the sun is too much in my face. I even said to them, do you ever wonder what would have happened if you just would have stayed together? She goes, yeah, we've thought that many times. Now, I'm not gonna suggest that they should be regretting anything. And she even said, regrets don't do anything. I agree with that. I'm not saying you should regret it, but you have to kind of wonder, like, what could have been? I think you have to accept reality as it presents itself to you and know that things probably unfolded the way they did for a reason. But, this is just my 2 cents, guys. This is just my 2 cents. When it comes to your feelings in marriage, you might have to put them aside sometimes. Some of it comes down to ego. Some of it comes down to expectations. Some of it comes down to hormones. Some of it comes down to money, right? The availability, the surplus or the deficit of funds. It all contributes to our feelings. Sometimes our bodies change, and all sorts of things happen in regards to our feelings, and that's what you got to be careful of. And so I want to encourage you today, if you're married, that you might want to think about it. Okay? All right. I hope this has helped. Leave a comment down below. Give me your thoughts. I'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, be wise.